ETFs, very important, very interesting. We need to first understand कि ETFs कैसे होते हैं. तो गूगल में आप जाओगे, गूगल में यू विल टाइप ETFs इन इंडिया NSE. तो जब आप ये गूगल में टाइप करोगे, you will get huge list of ETFs like this. There are around 200 plus ETFs in India. See, so many ETFs. मतलब investing के there are so many opportunities. We just need money, right? So इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए तो बहुत कुछ है, बस पैसा ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. Now see, these are the lists of ETFs. These are the underlying assets with which they are linked with, right? चलो ओपन कब हुआ, हाइज लोज, प्रीवियस क्लोज, लास्ट ट्रेडिंग प्राइस, इंडिकेटिव क्लोज. We don't need these things right now, right? Volume is very important. NAV is not that important right now, but these are the list of ETFs. You can download this thing as well. यहाँ से you can download this. Now there are 200 plus ETFs. So does it mean that all ETFs are good? So guys, please stop the questions right now. I will be just replying. You will get all the replies in a moment. Have some patience and just watch it, right? So these are the types of ETFs. सबसे पहले types देख लो. Then you will get how to do the trading, how to use the technicals. You will get all the answers. So these are the types of ETFs. The website which I am using here is Advisor Khoj. It is a good website. Grow, ये तो आपको पता है. You can use Grow as well. You can use Value Research as well. You can use Ticker Tape as well. So these are few websites which we will be using over here, right? Now Advisor Khoj में एक चीज़ है, because they have sorted in a good way. Now let me tell you a few more things, about ETFs. मैंने आपको कहा था ETF is having qualities of mutual fund and qualities of stocks. तो इसमें दोनों का हाइब्रिड है. It is having qualities of both. How come it is having qualities of mutual fund? Let me tell you that. है तो ये mutual fund ही, right? Which got listed in stock exchange. So whatever we had discussed in the class of mutual fund, NAV, AUM, everything will be valued over here, right? Expense ratio, total expense ratio, वो सारा यहाँ पे भी valid होगा, पहली बात. Second thing what would happen over here is that guys, म्यूचुअल फंड को आप बाय सेल नहीं कर सकते ना ज़्यादा, लेकिन ETF में कर सकते हैं. बाइंग सेलिंग सेम डे और स्विंग ट्रेड एज वेल. आप इसमें स्विंग ट्रेड कर लो, आप इसमें इंट्राडे कर लो. यू कैन डू द सेम थिंग. सो इट इज़ हैविंग सम क्वालिटीज ऑफ स्टॉक्स एज वेल. अब हमें देखना क्या है ETF में. Now, if you remember, थोड़ा बहुत आपको पता होगा, and if you are new in this class, आपने सुना होगा there are so many types of mutual funds, right? There are mutual funds जो index में invest करते हैं. There are mutual funds who are thematic, means who invest in pharma or IT or specific sector, right? ये भी सुना होगा आपने. There are mutual funds who are planning based, like retirement types of mutual fund, tax saving mutual funds, like that. There's so many types of mutual funds, right? We need a specific 2 or 3 hours class for that. But mutual funds बहुत तरह के होते हैं. Similarly guys, ETF भी बहुत तरह के होते हैं. There are so many types of ETFs. Now ETFs की diversification कैसे है? Means how these are diversified, how these are characterized, how these are classified, right? Now these are classified on the basis where that ETF is investing, or what is the benchmark of that ETF. वो ETF अपने आप को किससे relate करता है, with whom that ETF is relating itself with. For example, is that ETF related to index? Means were they the type of mutual funds who used to invest in index? Right, like that, or are they dealing in commodity, something like that. So see the categories guys. These are the categories. Equity में भी large cap है, mid cap है, small cap है. Then comes the debt ETFs, just like the mutual funds guys, right? Then comes the commodity ETF, silver है, gold है, Then comes the international ETFs who are investing in international stock exchanges like Japanese stock exchange, Chinese stock exchange, or NASDAQ, USA stock exchange. So these are types of ETFs as well. Now there are multiple types of ETFs. अब हमें क्या benefit होगा? But we will be having what will be the benefit of investing in ETFs first of all. Now, the best example, since you are students, right? Now gold is very costly, right? अभी तो gold is too costly out of students तो बेचारे नहीं ले सकते. But the cost of an ETF who is trading on gold would be just around 50-60 rupee. It makes more sense to invest in ETF. You can't invest all the pharmaceutical companies. आप सारी फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकते, राइट? बट यू कैन इन्वेस्ट इन ETF ऑफ फार्मा सेक्टर. सो फार्मा ETF. तो ये ETF क्या करेंगे, मीन्स द वे म्यूचुअल फंड वर्क्स, दे टेक योर मनी एंड इन्वेस्ट इन द फार्मा सेक्टर. सो वाई वी शुड नॉट इन्वेस्ट इन म्यूचुअल फंड सर देन? वाई ETF? देखो, अब दो चीज़ें, लेट मी डिस्कस अबाउट म्यूचुअल फंड्स. Let me give you an idea of mutual funds and then I'll give you an idea of ETF. See guys, mutual fund में you invest your money but you can't liquidate your money just like that. For example, विवेक ने पैसा लगाया म्यूचुअल फंड में, तो क्या विवेक कल पैसा निकाल सकते हैं? नो, राइट? इट टेक्स टाइम, राइट? सो एक नुकसान यह है कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर नॉट दैट लिक्विड. आई होप यू आर विद मी एवरीबडी. नाउ नंबर 2, if I invest in mutual funds, right? If I invest in mutual funds, for example, I get NAV. Now for example, आज स्टॉक मार्केट गिरती है तो म्यूचुअल फंड मेरा आज नीचे नहीं गिरेगा. आई विल गेट द NAV अराउंड 3 PM, 3 बजे दिन में. हमेशा तभी होता है कि म्यूचुअल फंड डज नॉट रेप्लीकेट स्टॉक मार्केट इमीडिएटली. इट इज़ नॉट रेप्लीकेटिव ऑफ द स्टॉक मार्केट. इट इज़ अ लैगिंग इंडिकेटर. एक दिन के बाद आपका म्यूचुअल फंड नीचे जाता है, राइट? नाउ व्हाट वुड हैपन, दैट NAV आई विल गेट द NAV. और व्हेन फॉर एग्जांपल ऐसा बोलते हैं, इट इज़ बीइंग सेड दैट व्हेन द स्टॉक मार्केट फॉल्स यू शुड इन्वेस्ट एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. But it is not in the case of mutual funds, because mutual fund will replicate the same thing the very next day, right? So you lose that thing. And that too, NAV calculation sometimes, mutual funds play some tactics in NAV calculations which is unethical as well multiple times. What I wanted to say, NAV calculation में गड़बड़ हो सकती है कई बार. So, and mutual fund people, they do that as well, right? So that is one thing. Mutual funds have, they charge very high amount of expense ratio. मीन्स थोड़ा कमीशन तो लेंगे वो लोग, तो म्यूचुअल फंड में आपको कमीशन भी देना पड़ता है. So what were the drawbacks investing in mutual funds? As such, investment in mutual fund is good, but as compared to ETF, there are few drawbacks. Number one, that mutual funds are not that liquid. Number two, NAV calculation can be you don't know how they're calculating the NAV. Is it accurate or not? Thirdly, sometimes if you have not invested in dividend reinvesting investment plan, then your dividends will also get lost and your mutual fund NAV will not grow. That also we have discussed. But in the case of ETF, you can do intraday trading. The expense ratio is very, very, very minimal, 0.1%, 0.2%. You will get all the benefits of the mutual funds, right? Safety, security. ETF will never become zero, guys. One more thing. Kingfisher company's stock price can become zero, because if the promoter do something wrong, then there will be effect on the stock value, right? But it will not in the case of ETF, because ETFs are investing in multiple companies, means they're already diversified, so your money will not become zero. You can do intraday trading as well. Expense ratio is also very, very less, and it is live, means if index goes up just now, ETF will also go up. If the index means Nifty goes down, ETF will also go down immediately. तो आप उसको देख के immediate decisions ले सकते हो. You can make immediate decisions while reading or while investing in the ETFs. Guys, I hope this is clear why ETFs are bit better than mutual funds. So if you ask me a question that, सर ETF में इन्वेस्ट करें, विच इज़ बेटर, ETF और म्यूचुअल फंड और इन्वेस्टिंग इन स्टॉक्स? आई वुड से एवरीथिंग, ऑल द इन्वेस्टमेंट टूल्स आर गुड. इन्वेस्ट एंड डाइवर्सिफाई योरसेल्फ. कोई भी अच्छा बुरा नहीं होता है. ऑल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर गुड. यू शुड बी डाइवर्सिफाइड थ्रू आउट. ETFs आर ऑल्सो गुड. सम मनी इन ETFs, सम मनी इन म्यूचुअल फंड्स. तो ETF की तारीफ तो बहुत ज़्यादा होगी, राइट? अब नुकसान तो है ही नहीं कुछ इसका मतलब. There's a big drawback in ETF, guys. That drawback I'll just let you know over here. See, so this is AUM. This is a daily volume change, right? Now the thing is that let's see the volume. There are few ETFs जिनका volume is very less, guys. Just see. It means it is not exchanging the hands. It means अगर कभी आपको ETF बेचना पड़ गया, if you want to redeem your ETF, right, you may not find a buyer or a good buyer. That is a big drawback. एक drawback जो सबसे बड़ा है, that see the volumes, guys. It is not for all the ETFs, but I am giving you the ETFs which are not performing well. So let's analyze then first of all how to shortlist a good ETF first. पहले ये देखते हैं कि ETF एक अच्छा चूज कैसे करें. Guys, now we'll go step by step and I'll give you few parameters and you will stick to those parameters. Parameter number 1, that you will be researching for the AUM, and the AUM should be highest amongst all the ETFs. If I compare the highest with respect to the word highest, it should be greater than 500 crores. 500 करोड़ से ऊपर AUM होना ही चाहिए. So these seems to be, ये देखो ascending descending order. So these seems to be good ETFs because they are having high amount of AUM. It should be more than 500 crores. So this is how you should be shortlisting. Number 1. Number 2, volume should also be higher. यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे आपको नुकसान नहीं है because volume is higher. Means आपने if you buy ETFs and if the volume is high, then absolutely you will find a seller. But you need to see what is the volume of that ETF, guys. Very, very important. Because see, one more thing over here is that if ETF, one thing that should come in your mind, so volume means मैं कभी भी अपना नहीं ETF नहीं बेच पाऊंगा. See guys, कितना ही हम इन्वेस्ट कर लेते हैं, means how much we will invest. We'll invest 1 lakh rupee, 2 lakh rupee, 3 lakh rupee for in ETFs, right? Up to that volume is good. Volume कम होने का मतलब है means if you are investing 1 crore rupee in ETF, then it will be a difficulty. If you are investing 10 crore rupee in ETFs, then it will be a difficulty, means your units will not get sold. But if you are investing 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, up to 10 lakh itself, nothing is going to happen as such. Firstly. Second thing is that over here is that if you are buying your ETF which is new, that is also not advisable. Your ETF should be, should be quite old in terms of, at least 5 to 10 years data should be available, right? Just like mutual funds, it should have high AUM, right? And it should have a good volume. Total expense ratio in सबके कम ही होंगे. See, the expense ratios are generally low. So this is a way of investing. Now, if you think that sir आने वाले time में pharma sector will grow, then you can invest in the ETF of pharma sector. Find out the pharma ETF and you will find these are the bonds, right? These are large cap companies. So similarly, there will be thematic ETFs as well related to pharma. Let me show you over here somewhere. So there are multiple types of ETFs depending upon the benchmark which they are dealing with, right? This is firstly, I'll show the technical charts as well to you. So अभी तक आपको दो चीज़ें which are very important. Number 1, launch date. It should be at least 5-10 years old. AUM should be more than 500 crores. Higher the better. Volume again higher the better. It should not be as less as them. See, यहाँ तो बहुत ही कम volume है. In these, if the volume is very less in the ETFs, then when you will be redeeming your ETF at that point of time, it will become bit difficult. I hope this is clear to everybody. Okay, doubts. Yeah, there is expense ratio in ETFs as well. That you will not get to know. वो अपने price में adjust कर लेंगे वो. ETF as such will not get delisted. पिछले 10 सालों में कितने ETF delist हो गए हैं. So that's why I'm saying invest in the old ETFs. So there are less chances. These are gold bees, right? One of very old ETF having good volume as well. So all the things are just similar to stocks. See, अभी गोल्ड 1.5 लाख का है, बट एक ETF गोल्ड का 100 रुपये का है, 100 रुपी, दैट्स इट. यू कैन बाय इट, यू कैन डू द इंटरडे ट्रेडिंग ऑन दिस एज वेल. सी द बाय साइन कमिंग एंड यू कैन डू इन्वेस्टमेंट्स अकॉर्डिंगली. यू कैन डू सिप एज वेल ओवर हेयर. सिप कैसे चल सकती है? जब जब बाय साइन आया, हम टेक्निकल चार्ट्स करेंगे, वी विल डूइंग टेक्निकल चार्ट्स इन द कमिंग टाइम, राइट. इक्विटी रिसर्च के एंड में आएगा वो. तो वेन एवर बाय साइन कम्स, see the other parameters as well, means what they are indicating, right? Invest. See, so in last I would say February 2025 में buy का sign आया था, right? Now see, I want you to calculate 80 rupee. At that point of time the cost was around 65. Today the same is costing around 111 retouch किया है. So I want you to calculate the absolute returns, guys. 111 and 65 रुपी, 60 रुपी में करके देखो हाउ मच इट गेव. गाइस कैलकुलेट 111 and 60, 70% returns. So it's fine, I believe, and it just costs you less. So these are gold ETF का मतलब है this ETF is investing in gold. So there similarly there are multiple ETFs who are investing their money in some benchmark. Now let's see what exactly benchmark is. पहले वो चीज़ें भी देख लें, right? Now gold ETF ही देखते हैं, निपन इंडिया. चलो इस वाले को ही देख लेते हैं, सिल्वर ETF. All the things are just similar to म्यूचुअल फंड. यही हमने म्यूचुअल फंड वाले चैप्टर में भी किया था, राइट. कैटेगरी ETF, लॉन्च डेट, एसेट क्लास, बेंचमार्क, सिल्वर इंडेक्स, ठीक है. टोटल एक्सपेंस रेशो. Turnover ratio means it is not relatable to you because now you are dealing in secondary market, but still you should know 44% in the turnover ratio means they are churning the investments in, मतलब 40% इन्वेस्टमेंट एक साल में वो बेच के फिर से खरीद लेते हैं, राइट. दिस इज अ CAGR. NAV. सी, अब यहाँ पे दो चीज़ें आएंगी विच यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इन केस ऑफ ETFs. नाउ अब आपका एक डाउट और रह गया है जो यू शुड be asking and you didn't ask me. See, ETF में ना, म्यूचुअल फंड में क्या था? म्यूचुअल फंड में it was NAV. 1 unit of mutual fund is equal to NAV. For example, I started a mutual fund and the cost of 1 unit of that mutual fund was 10 rupee. That is NAV of mutual fund. So today, if Ankit wants to buy 1 unit of mutual fund, he had to pay me just 10 rupee and he will be getting the unit of mutual fund. But it is not in the case of ETF. क्योंकि ETF में मैंने कहा था ETF is hybrid. ETF में कुछ qualities हैं म्यूचुअल फंड की and there are some qualities which are from stocks. So in ETFs, NAV will work the same way in mutual funds, but there is market price as well. The same it happens in bonds. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अब मेरा म्यूचुअल फंड जो 10 रुपये का था पहले एक यूनिट, माई म्यूचुअल फंड विच वॉज कॉस्टिंग 1 यूनिट विच वॉज कॉस्टिंग अराउंड 10 रुपी, वैन इट वेंट टू द सेकेंडरी मार्केट, तो इफ देर वॉज वेरी हाई डिमांड ऑफ दैट ETF, राइट, सो दैट 10 रुपी बिकेम 15 रुपी. दैट इज द मार्केट प्राइस ऑफ माई ETF. NAV was 10. NAV is still 10. But because of high demand, people are willing to pay 15 rupee. That became the market price. So in ETF, both the things will be there. NAV as well as market price, right? And the way it happens in stock market, in bond market, debt market, कि जितना सस्ता bond आप खरीदो, if you buy a bond at a discounted price, we will be doing fixed income in the coming classes, but just सोच लो जितनी सस्ती चीज़ आपको मिल जाए, if you get something at discount, better it is. So if the NAV is higher than the market price, that ETF is good to invest. Let me repeat myself, this is for your practicals as well. If you find any ETF or if you find at some point of time NAV is higher than the market price, such situation is good to invest in ETFs. Let me show you practically what I wanted to say. देखो ETF में जैसे ये है, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से. जैसे दिस इज मोतीलाल ओसवाल नैस्डैक. अब दिस ETF, they are investing money in NASDAQ 100, American top 100 companies, right? Now see, this is NAV, blue color is NAV and green color is the market price. This is what I wanted to say. ETF में market price would be different and NAVs would be different. On contrary, in mutual fund there is no concept of market price, there is just one concept of NAVs, guys. एंड वेनेवर, अभी तो देखो यहाँ मार्केट प्राइस की डिमांड ज़्यादा है तो मार्केट प्राइस इज़ अबव, लेकिन देर वर सिचुएशंस व्हेन दे वर ओवरलैपिंग एंड देर विल बी सिचुएशंस व्हेन this price or when this blue color will overshadow the green color, means the market price. So these are good times to invest, what I am saying. In ETFs, whenever NAV's price or NAV is higher और द मार्केट प्राइस इज़ लेस, मार्केट डिमांड इज़ लेस, तो इसका मतलब है आपको एक अच्छा स्टॉक सस्ते में मिल गया. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना कि एक अच्छा स्टॉक, फंडामेंटली स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टॉक खरीदना चाहिए. सेम गोज ओवर हेयर. इफ़ यू वांट टू सी द टेक्निकल्स ओवर हेयर, व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से, इफ़ यू वांट टू बाय अ गुड फंडामेंटली स्ट्रॉन्ग ETF, then this is also criteria that you should be seeing. Means whenever the price is lesser than the market, means demand is less but ETF is doing good. So at such situations, it is a good time for the investments. Generally, what you will find over here, इसमें होगा क्या कि मैक्सिमम केसेस में ये ओवरलैपिंग ही रहता है. इन मैनी केसेस इट विल बी ओवरलैपिंग ओनली, मीन्स एक दूसरे के ऊपर ही रहेगा. देर विल बी वेरी लेस चांस, देर विल वेरी लेस टाइम्स व्हेन डिमांड इज गोइंग अप. एंड गाइज, वेन एवर द डिमांड इज अप, ये तो याद रखना, दिस इज वन मोर क्राइटेरिया, वेन एवर द डिमांड इज वेरी हाई, मार्केट प्राइस इज वेरी हाई, इट मीन्स एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इट इज ओवर वैल्यूड. थोड़ा वेट करके पैसा लगाओ, इन्वेस्ट आफ्टर सम टाइम, राइट. नाउ in ETFs you can do monthly investments as well, means the way you do in mutual funds. जैसे हर महीने फर्स्ट को या और 7th of every month or 10th of every month invest 2,500 rupee or 1,000 rupee or 2,000 rupee, like that. Or whenever a buy sign comes, invest at that point of time. That is lump sum. पैसे इकट्ठा करके रख लो, जब जब buy sign आए तब तब डाल लो. So you can keep yourself diversified. थोड़ा पैसा म्यूचुअल फंड्स में डाल दो, थोड़ा ETFs में डाल दो. द रीज़न बिहाइंड दैट, म्यूचुअल फंड में ऐसा सोच के डालो, यू विल नॉट बी यूजिंग दैट मनी इन वेरी वेरी लॉन्ग रन, बिकॉज सी you can't, as I told you guys, you can't invest very huge amount of money in ETF. That is not advisable, right? अभी तो हम कितना सिप चलाते हैं. अब you are students, you must be investing 500 rupee, 1,000 rupee, like that. But for example, when you get mature in our age, when you're earning money, you will start a sip of 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. अब 20,000 रुपये अगर तुम अगले 30 साल तक डालोगे, that sum of money would be huge, right? So that huge amount of money can't be invested in ETFs, guys. So if you are investing huge amount of money, then go for the mutual funds, क्योंकि लॉन्ग रन में पैसा इकट्ठा होकर बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा कंपाउंडिंग में. And if you are investing some money, you have some extra money, 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, something like that, और हर महीना ये 500, 1000 इतना करके, then you can invest in ETFs, because that will not become huge, because liquidity may become an issue in future. तो उतना ही लगाओ जितना ही liquidate हो भी जाए, दुख भी ना हो. I hope you got the point, everybody. So this is what I wanted to say. You can invest in a manner of doing SIPs, or you can do the lump sum investments as well. Secondly, you need to see this chart as well, NAV versus price. Now you got the concept. In ETFs, there are two concepts coinciding each other. One is NAV, that is the real value of ETF. One is market price, which is dependent upon the demand and supply, because now it is in secondary market. क्योंकि अब म्यूचुअल फंड सेकेंडरी मार्केट में चला गया है, तो जितनी ज़्यादा डिमांड उतने ज़्यादा प्राइजेज ETF के वेरी करेंगे. सो दैट इज़ वाई द प्राइजेज आर गोइंग फ्लक्चुएटिंग लाइक दिस. But NAV of this would be much different, that we are just seeing. I hope this is clear. Rest all the things are just, तभी मैंने कहा यहाँ पे जो NAV है इस वाले म्यूचुअल फंड में, NAV will not make that sense as such, because you are dealing with market value. But still you should keep this thing in mind. This is the inception returns from the inception, but for this you need to see the technicals mein you will find much better data over here. So this is the comparison with the benchmark, right? And this is how, guys, let me show you one more ETF over here. So this is the category. So commodity category, gold and silver. Indices की जो category है, so these are the categories. Nifty है, Nifty next 100 companies भी हैं, top Nifty 50 तो है ही है, Nifty next 100 भी है, right? There are international ETFs as well, as I told you. If you want to, these are PSU, Sensex as well for BSC. Gilt index means it is for the bonds, right? Debt market. Healthcare ETF, consumption ETF means if you want to enter in specific sector, then also ETFs are good. जैसे आपको लगता है यार कल को हेल्थ केयर अच्छा कर सकता है आने वाले टाइम में, तो हेल्थ केयर वाला ETF ले लो, राइट? म्यूचुअल फंड तो आप लेके रखो, मिड कैप या मे बी मल्टी फ्लेक्सी कैप और मे बी लार्ज कैप. और आपको लगता है यार फार्मा सेक्टर म्यूचुअल फंड में डालने से, क्योंकि फार्मा म्यूचुअल फंड भी है, राइट? दे आर थीमेटिक म्यूचुअल फंड्स, वहाँ पे डालने से इसमें डाल देता हूँ. यू आर गेटिंग मोर डाइवर्सिफाइड एंड बाय फ्यू अदर स्टॉक्स. So this is how you will be planning your investments, right? So this is auto, mid cap, right? Liquidity. See guys, one more thing. There are few ETFs who are dealing with debt basically. So their value don't increase. यहाँ पे इनकी वैल्यू बढ़ती नहीं है, ये देखो. It's more over a straight line. But generally what happens, they give you more number of units. For example, अंकित ने आज 100 यूनिट्स खरीदे, तो अंकित को एक साल के बाद 110 यूनिट्स हो जाएंगे. कॉस्ट उतनी रहेगी, मार्केट वैल्यू उतनी रहेगी, पर नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स विल इंक्रीज. सो दिस इज हाउ डेट ETFs वर्क, राइट? सो आई वाज शोइंग यू द टाइप्स. सो दीज आर द टाइप्स गाइस. हेल्थ केयर, ये सारे के सारे टाइप्स हैं. द क्राइटेरिया वुड बी द सेम, AUM, वॉल्यूम एंड थोड़ा पुराना होना चाहिए, 5 से 10 साल का ETF, and that is good to invest. Yeah, Hang Seng, this is for the international investments. Nasdaq again for the international investments. So this is how the entire ETF things work. Now we will be just discussing कि ETF में investment strategy क्या रहती है. Let's see the investment strategies in the ETF. Guys, any doubts you have, please feel free to ask. So let's summarize a few points. Volume and AUM is very important because of liquidity issues. Don't invest crores and crores on ETF. Invest in few lakhs or few thousands. That will be fine in liquidity. Don't invest in new ETFs. You can do SIP, you can do lump sum as well. Try to invest in dips. Whenever market falls, try to do the lump sum, right? Use the technical charts for this. ETF index returns. अगर एक और चीज़ है guys, there are two types of mutual funds. There is one more type, that's so many classification of mutual fund. There is one more classification. One mutual fund who reinvests your dividends back in the investments. Second type of mutual funds who give you dividends, right? But ETFs are closed-ended mutual funds who reinvest your dividends. It means returns of ETF becomes more than the benchmarks multiple time. अगर ETF निफ्टी को बेंचमार्क मान रहा है और निफ्टी ने दिया 14% रिटर्न, फॉर एग्जाम्पल निफ्टी gave you 12%, let's take it 12%, then there will be chances that your Nifty ETF will give you 14% returns. Why? Because your dividend आएगा, they will reinvest that. So that's why, because of the dividends, the returns becomes higher. So if someone asks you, ETFs are closed-ended mutual funds and they are dividend reinvestment plans. I hope this is also clear. Mutual funds do some unethical stuff sometimes in NAV calculations by the end of the day. थोड़ा बहुत NAV calculation में होता है गड़बड़ घोटाला, तो that we don't know how it can be tackled, but that's why mutual funds में बड़ा पैसा लगाओ तो ठीक है, but ट्रेडिंग के चक्कर में थोड़े बहुत के लिए अगर आप कर रहे हो तो it's not good. Few famous ETFs which are famous throughout, which have good volume, which have good AUM, जहाँ जहाँ बीज लगा है, निफ्टी बीज, the benchmark is Nifty, right? NSE. Junior B's next 50, next 100 companies. This is for Nifty 50, this is for Nifty next 100, right? बैंक बीज, मोतीलाल ओसवाल वेरी फेमस फॉर नैस्डैक। अगर आपने अमेरिकन कंपनीज में पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना है, टॉप 100 कंपनीज, तो मोतीलाल ओसवाल इज गुड। फार्मा बीज फॉर फार्मा सेक्टर, IT बीज फॉर IT sector, gold bees for gold, silver bees for silver. So these are good ETFs, but there are multiple other ETFs as well which are better. You do your own research. I told you how it can be shortlisted, right?